Hello, Divine. Hello, dear Danae. Uh, Greetings from Baghdad. AJ, Taku, thank you having you. Uh, Greetings, greetings, greetings. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Remember that I'm broadcast live on YouTube as well. I'm broadcast on my Facebook and on my YouTube as well. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I have an important discussion that I will be talking today, and I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are tuning in here in the United States, here in Ambazonia, La Republique, Europe, and uh, well, we will be talking some of those discussion, and thank you for asking. From I was oh, thank you so much. Greetings, greetings. Uh, Greetings, all of you that are tuning in, and if you please share, and that is important. If you are on my Facebook or you need YouTube, either way, you should be able to have access and share so that we will start soon as possible. There's a lot of discussions that we will be talking about. I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are tuning in this morning, or it's almost getting to 12 here in the United States. I don't know what is your time elsewhere. And thank you again. My name is Fonton Daniel. Thank you for watching. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have, and is that not wonderful? Absolutely. Um, yeah, as our brother said, instead of having a base that our people can have an opportunity, you have a certain group of individuals that have the benefit of the opportunity while our people are being suffering. So today is I'm going to bring a very important thing that I believe it is and momentarily, I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are in. Um, um, but anyway, how you all doing? But that's a good question. How you all doing today? It's important that how you all doing? How you feeling? I mean, it is quite amazing what is happening in the southern Cameroon territory, now the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. Today, I will before I dive into these issues that is affecting the people of Southern Cameroon, now the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. I want to take a moment to thank the United States for continued involvement, for continued engagement, for continued looking for lasting solutions. I want to thank the United Department of Defense, U.S. Department of uh, State Department, the White House, uh, the Congress, the Senate, and various state cities across the United States, and also the Great Britain, BBC playing a key role, sharing attack on the ground zero, reporting exactly what is going on, and we want to thank them for continued engagement. The stage is to accept the reality and present the factual. One, in 2008, government or the nation that hasn't engaged in is the United Nations. While various governments have been spoken about these problems, they have debated about problems, but what hasn't been is the United Nations that remains silent. Antonio Guterres, you know, we have a one important uh, inner city press. Inner city press, we want to thank them immensely for their continued effort. I know they have been banned by the United Nations for asking broader and factual questions. So the inner city press that is in the United Nations has been banned by the United Nations, and they've been banned because they are asking a broader based questions related to the ongoing crisis. You all know that the U.S. missionary, U.S. missionary Charles Wesco, who decided to um, sell his properties with the hope that he wants to relocate in the southern Cameroon or the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. It's a well diverse culture that anyone will want to be in that particular location. For those who are not aware or haven't had the opportunity to look immensely about what is Southern Cameroon in the first place. Remember that the Southern Cameroon, when President of the United States recent visit in giving, he was given a material that was made from the Southern Cameroon because of the cultural aspect of the people of Southern Cameroon. So the culture is well vested and well ingrained that most world would want to be. And so a missionary with his family and relocate. And he was murdered by the neighboring country, La Republique Du Cameroun, that is continuing genocide and perpetrating and murdering citizens. La Republique, before, you know, as a judge, as a judge in a prison here in the United States, as a judge in a prison here in the United States, I witnessed a broad-based election, clean and fair, that everyone feel proud. But when I take a look at what is going on in West Africa, especially where I was born, and the murdering and the brutality, you can imagine that someone appoint his cousin as a head of the judiciary department. I mean, if that happened here in the United States, I mean, it would be a broad-wide condemnation because United States is not for a particular individual family; it's for every citizen, and the law supersedes everyone's here in the United States. The law is above everyone, and everyone is under the umbrella of the law. And that is why when I look at what is happening in Southern Cameroon, now the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, citizens of people are brutally murdered indiscriminately. Imagine that they orchestrated and formulate and murdering citizens, minister, including the territorial administration minister, led by Atangaji, is organizing, providing military equipment to go and kidnap students in their own university, in their school. Because the Ambazonian they cannot provide a 70-seater bus to transport students to Bafut. And so one kind of look at it because the intention is never a good intention. The essence is to make the people that are fighting to protect their own citizens. Imagine the same government organized blocking the entire two-way round of the main road and burn trucks. And this is a perpetrating action carried on by this government of Pobia regime in southern Cameroon territory. Despite the fact that the United States government and Oriental government has asked for a broad-based discussion about the ongoing crisis, La Republique, because of its perpetrating action, will not call for aid. He thinks that by using their military in the citizens of the southern Cameroon, it's going to succeed. So, but I hear this is a letter written by the U.S. State Department or U.S. State Department spokesperson. I am going to read this letter to your hearing. Maybe for some of you who haven't read it, it's posted on my Facebook. Press statement, Heather, the department spokesperson, Washington, D.C., November 6, 2018. The United States condemned in the strongest possible term members kidnapping students of the staff of the Presbyterian Secondary School in Gwen, near Bamenda, Cameroon. We call for immediate and safe return of these students, the staff to their families. The United States expressed grave concern over the burgeoning Anglophone Northwest and Southwest region. We urge the immediate call to the indiscriminate targeting of civilians, burning of houses, Cameroonian government forces, attack perpetrating by both Anglophone separatists and the security forces and civilians. The systematic intimidation based on ethnic and religious affiliations, including in Yaoundé and Douala, must stop. With memory of the Cameroon missionary, with memory of the American missionaries, Charles Wesco, and all others who have lost their lives in the Anglophone crisis. We urge all sides to end the violence and enter into a broad-based reconciliation dialogue without preconditions. That is the United States State Department spokesperson letter on the 5th of December. The question is, imagine in the people of Southern Cameroon, the people of Southern Cameroon or West Cameroon was never a colonial territory of La Republique Du Cameroun. The people were never a colonial territory or was a conquered territory of La Republique Du Cameroun. Imagine that during the Dr. Jongu Foncha Endele Ngumjwa, the previous cabinet or member of the Southern Cameroon, when they presided over in Nigeria, our people were never intimidated. Our people were never persecuted. Our people were never arrested. They were free. It was open discussion. During the Enugu House of Assembly in the 1950s and the 60s, our people were recognized as a people. We were open discussion. We were allowed freedom. But when our people choose that we will no longer be part of the Enugu House of Assembly, the Nigerian government never invaded us, the Nigerian military never declared war on us, the military of Nigeria recognized us as people. We will never be intimidated. And so our people have the same voice, the same decisions, and the same value to be recognized that we will never be succumbed to intimidation by La Republique du Cameroun. As I'm speaking, anyone can represent the people of Southern Cameroon. Right now that I'm speaking, our leadership cabinet are currently held by the gendarmerie in Yaoundé. They have no authority to arrest, intimidate. Every citizen of the Southern Cameroon has a legal authority to represent its citizens. And we, the fact that they are in Nigeria, they represent the aspiration of the people of Southern Cameroon. They're simply asking La Republique, the neighboring country, that the relationship that we have is not in good terms and that we want a more broader relationship. La Republique, instead of coming to the table and dialogue and asking my brother, they have been adopted with the complicity of the Nigerian government. And they were forgery by the Geneva Conventions. Humans have, especially those of as refugees, they have a status in Nigeria and they have no legal authority to adopt them from Nigeria to Cameroon. Nigeria is a signatory to the Geneva Convention, and Nigeria should have respected those clauses, but yet Nigeria did not. And our people were indiscriminately adopted. Whether we should have any broader way, whether we should be living together with La Republique. And every citizen has a legal authority to question La Republique. When we came together, when La Republique and the people of Southern Cameroon came together, they didn't come together as a colonial territory of La Republique. They didn't come together as a conquered territory of La Republique. They came together as a sovereign nation. Article 1608, Article 1608 of the United Nations Charter in 1961 recognized, voted, and recognizing the people of Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation. And previous years in 1960, the same body voted to recognizing La Republique as a nation. And so if two nations coming together to discuss about the issues affecting the nations, it should be taken into consideration instead of arresting and instead of adopting our people that stands up as an aspiration of the people of Southern Cameroon and adopted them indiscriminately and placed them under communicado in the neighboring country La Republique. And that is not helping the build of any relationship. And so my recommend our people, current government, need to call a broad-based conference. The broad-based conference expect to call a broad-based conference in which within the past. So I am urging leaders that we must call a broad-based conference in each of the following countries that are listed. The broad-based conference will invite La Republique in that conference. The broad-based conference should be held either in Germany, in Great Britain, in the United States, or Ghana. This is my recommendations. My recommendations that a broad-based conference be called by the Federal Republic of Ambazonian acting government. And the acting government should recommend the foreign area: Germany, Great Britain, United States, and Ghana. The broad-based conference, the purpose of the conference, La Republique should also be invited in that conference. The broad-based conference shall be open and shall be represented by all the various stakeholders. The purpose is to discuss the current going crisis. Because we have expected La Republique to call such a broad conference. And since La Republique hasn't called such a broad-based conference, instead he went ahead and adopted our leadership. So we will invite them to that conference. And we'll also invite the State Department. When the conference is scheduled, I wish in my recommendation between February next year, 2019, the conference should be called in February 2019. The conference will be any of one of those areas. My recommendations that before the conference is held, all nations should be in, State Department should be also be informed. The United States, the White House should be informed, and the U.S. Department of Defense should also be informed, and Great Britain should also, Prime Minister should be informed. The British Foreign Secretary should be informed. The United Nations should be informed, and an address letter to be addressed to all those various nations. The German to ask brother nations that will participate in sponsoring such an occasion. It is important that we address this matter as soon as possible, because we cannot, in a meaningful democratic society, and function as an effective people in an atmosphere that is conclusively controlled by a single family in the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. A government of La Republique, you have one single individual who appoints his relatives, his cousin, his family to head a government, and they are circulating in a semi-circle. You have Defense Department, Betis. You have Finance Department, Betis. You have a Presidency, Betis. You have even the Southern Cameroon Territory, Betis, or whatever they call Francophones. Our people have no aspiration. They have no breathing space. They cannot even voice their concern. Right now that I'm speaking, even the journalists have no voice. The journalists supposed to have a freedom to express themselves. Right now that I'm speaking, we have Mimi Mefo, a journalist with Equinox. She spoke clearly. She's unbiased in the way she presents her analysis. Mimi Mefo with the Equinox in Douala. I'm sure everyone is aware of her. I mean, imagine that the military of the Gendarmerie in Brigade in Douala is inviting her. At what capacity is the military of inviting Mimi Mefo? At what capacity? It's because of that intimidation of journalists Anglo-Saxon origin, especially in the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. We have Fonja Hansen Muki with the Cameroon Report newspaper. They have been called upon to arrive in the northern region of Bamenda to report about false reporting. They are simply reporting a factual information. And that is what his Fonja, Fonja Hansen Muki, he's the editor or the charge of the Cameroon Reporting newspaper based in Bamenda. He's been called by this terrorist government of La Republique military that they continue terrorizing the people of Southern Cameroon. I mean, it's terrible that we have in this system. Our people believe in a government of transparency, a government that is accountable, a government that the citizens have an obligation to question its existence. And that is the government that I was stood for. That's the government that I am emphasizing. That's the government I call upon to represent the people's aspirations. In power for 36 years. And he's about to be president for the 7 years. And by the time he is 92 years, that is someone that is suffering from, he doesn't recall his wife's name. That someone doesn't remember his exit in his room. He don't remember the call, which room he left and which room he had to exit. He's been controlled like a robot. He's the president of a country. You have someone that they have appointed in charge of the Justice Department that is mentally incoherent. And that is a Department of Justice that will be an umpire for a sovereign nation to exist. And that is accountable. That every individual must be. And that person that is in charge of the Justice Department must have a mentally coherent to be able to judge based on the law rather than based on favoritism, family relationship, and whatever the bogus relationship that they may have. And that is someone that has been appointed to head a justice department. I am here. I believe that a value of the human dignity to be respected and have a justice system that equally represent the people. That is umpire based on factual law evidence, not on a personal identified relationship with individuals. Prince Force Hans were adopted by this neighboring country. Prince Force Hans, well, I'm sure he was one time Equinox journalist. He been picked up by this neighboring country, la Republique Du Cameroun. Imagine that people have no right to express themselves. They have no right to question the existence of a particular government. They have no existence. They has basically fundamentally zero value that should be recognized. I'm sure the United States should begin by condemning the government of La Republique immediately. United States should begin by threatening them immediate sanctions. That's what the United States should be doing. Because writing this soft letter, it doesn't carry on anywhere. It's time the United States stand for obligation. I can imagine the United States stand for its obligation and execute those obligations. Because writing doesn't help in a government of dictatorship. They're mentally incoherent. You all imagine what happened in the Muammar Gaddafi. And yet we have this dictatorship hasn't learned a lesson. We all knew what happened to Iraqi president. Yet this dictatorship hasn't learned a lesson. I think it's time United States Department. I think it's time United States in Africa immediately threaten La Republique immediately to take action, because without so we will continue to have this discussion till the next visit. United States needs to let that now we give you 24 hours to leave, because it takes less cost to the United States to make peace reign in a nation. And I'm sure the United States can do this amicably. United States has the capability. Instead of writing 20 letters and talking about it, take action. U.S. Department, take action. We have AFRICOM that is stationed in Africa. It takes 24 hours instruction, and the United States will make a difference to human dignity. We have civilians. We have United States missionary. He just left here with his family, and now his family is frustrated because they have just lost the person that is providing them the benefit, the love and dignity, and they have just lost it. While we are romancing with the system, we know that in the minds of a dictatorship, nothing they can take action. The word doesn't sink into their brain. So accept action, because we United States written thousands of letters to Muammar Gaddafi, and none of those letters take action. So it's time the United States take unilateral action against him. If he's killed, it doesn't even affect him at all. So, but however, we can, and it's time the United States step up instead of writing, because the writing doesn't lead us into anywhere. We know we wrote several letters to Muammar Gaddafi, and it didn't take Muammar Gaddafi to respond to any of those letters, because In the minds of the brutal dictatorship, they have no coherent behavior. They do not reason. They have no judgment. They have no. They are just brain dead. They are suffering from mental psychosis. They are unreasonable. They are incoherent. And so it's time, the United States, take action. Action is the best way to show that dictatorship, the United States doesn't condone with those individuals. Just imagine a government adopted citizens and fetch them in a bus and take them to eating in a place and deliberately accusing someone as though people are blind and pretend to be very lovely. Imagine the same military cut a major road, but destroyed vehicles. Because the people cannot carry on such a magnitude of that large scale. Imagine encircled villages in Benin and slaughtering almost 47 children indiscriminately and targeting boys. Amazonian would not target 47 boys and destroy. That's something that one can fail to discuss, to acknowledge. The Amazonian cannot ferry 70 children to Bafut without having encounter with the neighboring country like the Republic military. Because they are every junction of the street. They are in every junction of the street. I think it is important that while we are preparing for this, it is important that we call a broad-based conference. The broad-based conference will be held in any of those areas that are listed. Germany, Great Britain, United States, or Ghana. Since we have expected the Republic to call such a broad-based conference, they have ignored or refused to call such a broad-based conference. So our interim government or acting listen should, or all the stakeholders should call a broad-based conference. The broad-based conference will include or we should write a letter addressed to the U.S. State Department. That letter must be certified letters addressed to the U.S. State Department, addressed to the U.S. White House, addressed to the U.S. Defense Department, addressed to all various arms of the United States government, including U.S. Congress, the U.S. Senate. And all the letters should also be addressed to the U.S. Parliament and to the U.S. Prime Minister. And all those letters should also be addressed to the German the German government, the Foreign Secretary, all the German Federation government. So all those letters is imperative. Once the date or area being scheduled, we need not just rent a local area. We need to request that particular government in writing. If we choose Germany as the broad-based conference to be held in Germany, then we need to write to the German government and acknowledge that we are intending to hold a broad-based conference and that we are inviting La Republique in that broad-based conference. So in that broad-based conference, if La Republique failed, then they are the ones that held us behind. And then in that broad-based conference, we can move forward with whatever implementation or policy we will be drafting. So we will initiate such a broad-based conference. If we choose Germany, then we need to send a letter addressed to the German government that this is our intention, that is our goal. Our goal is to forge ahead, and that we are inviting La Republique. We want German government to participate in this broad-based conference, and that we will want that every decision that we shall be made, and that shall be transparent, and that we will want a German government, since the broad-based conference will be held in Germany, then we will like them to participate and initiate at any plenary session. And that they will be invited, and invited guests shall be based upon the credentials that this conference is held in Britain. Then we will initiate those broad-based conference. We will invite the Prime Minister to participate in the broad-based conference. And that broad-based conference will discuss the criteria and it will be open. And that those who have their own egoistic mind should also be put, and they may have their own personal egoistic mind. But we have to have a broad-based conference. In Britain, it's the choice that we choose for the broad-based conference. And I believe this broad-based conference should be scheduled in January, either January or February next year. A broad-based conference is very, very imperative that we initiate it because we have waited for La Republique to initiate such a broad-based conference. They have remained adamant and refused deliberately. And we have seen that most nations have been asking for a broad-based conference. We can still fight, but at the end of the fight, the first thing we will go is to a broad-based conference. So therefore, let's initiate a broad-based conference to be held either in Germany, Britain. We shall not look for a location, a specific location. We will invite the Great Britain to be able to be part of the broad-based conference if they choose to host the broad-based conference. We are asking the Britain or Germany or whatever nation that will be willing to host this broad-based conference for the people of Southern Cameroon, for the people to come together and discuss what is going on, what for their life. And in the broad-based conference, whatever decision is accepted, that broad-based conference should be taken about at least about a week. So there will be a selected committee. The committee will draft a broad-based decision before the final resolutions that we meet. And the leadership of all the various will be present in that deliberation. A broad-based conference is the best way that we can move forward. We can still fight. We can still fight the war. We continue to fight the war. At the end of the war, we will still come to a broad-based conference. When the Germany fought the war and the Second World War, at the end of the war, at the end of the victory, they still have a broad-based conference to discuss what is the criteria. And in the criteria, the United Nations was formed. And now United Nations become an umpire. So we need a broad-based conference. And I think that the people of Southern Cameroon should immediately and start initiating such a broad-based conference. And that all individuals, including La Republique, should be part of the broad-based conference. Since we have asked, since they have asked them to initiate, and they have failed for this number of length of time to initiate such a broad-based conference, I think it's time for us to initiate such a broad-based conference. When we initiate such a broad-based conference, we invite all the nations, especially whichever nation choose to host a broad-based conference. It's not going to be a village broad-based conference where all the delegations that shall be there. It should take about a week or so. Within a week, a subcommittee should be created. And the subcommittee will work out the plan. What is the purpose of the broad-based conference? What is the goal? What is that they want to attend? What is the perspective of the broad-based conference? Having such a broad-based conference is an imperative that we must initiate and implement right now. And that is why I am presenting this plan that we must start looking. The area that I will recommend is Germany, Great Britain, Ghana, United States, because the level of security is safe to carry on such a broad-based debate or conference. And that broad-based conference should have a open to all the Southern Cameroon and neighboring countries like Republic, and the purpose should discuss the terms. When in the 50s or in the 60s, when Nigeria, during the Enugu House of Assembly, they have a broad-based discussion about what relationship can function within La Republic, within the Southern Cameroon and Nigeria. And it was an effective relationship, a working neighboring relationship. And this has not existed till we forged it. It has been at the beginning, at least Ahijo had some broad-based discussion. But with the current individual, the dictatorship of Paul Biya has never, he believed in the military. And that is the culture of the Francophone system. The Francophone system believed in a culture of brutality and the means, as instead of an open discussion, an open debate about how and harmony relationship. If the broad-based conference should be held here in the United States, then we should involve the United States government as a part of the ongoing process to initiate and provide an open transparency. We can ask if State Department will be willing to open the broad-based conference, or whatever state that choose to organize a broad-based conference, and that should provide opportunity for us to discuss what relationship, since La Republique has failed in all its terms. I believe the people of Ambazonia should call such a broad-based conference, and we should sensitize the people the purpose of the broad-based conference. It should be held either in February or in March, and preparatory subcommittee should be initiated in preparation towards the broad-based conference. If the broad-based conference should be held in Ghana, I think Ghana will have a perfect area with security, and the security should be guaranteed, and that we can an important step moving forward. We can do this because that is the effective way moving forward. We will still fight the war. We will still kill every individual. But however, at the end of the fight, at the end of the war, we will still have to sit under the broad-based conference. So it's time we organize it. So we have asked La Republique to organize it. They haven't. They ignore it. Instead, they're using crooked method, adopting our civilians, killing foreigners that have been visiting our home, killing including missionaries, adopting students, as to portray the people of Southern Cameroon. We love our brothers and sisters. We love everyone that living in our territory. We want La Republique to disengage and leave our territory. I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are watching. That it is important that we cover a broad-based conference. The broad-based conference is an important step to moving forward, and we should start by beginning this broad-based conference in all the areas that I have indicated: Germany, Great Britain, United States, and Ghana. It is imperative that we have this broad-based conference. This broad-based conference will also have La Republique, them to be present. And so we should engage with the government of that nation. It's not going to be our private meeting discussion now. We should involve that government, and we should write physically, even consult their foreign secretary, and that this is the purpose that we are proposing this. And this should start right now, immediately, and should be an ongoing process. And that we should set up a date that should be discussing about that broad-based conference. And I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are watching. My name is Funton Daniel. I am speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. I know, in addition, there is some lawyers that are holding a conference. They are planning to hold a conference here in November. I think it is a mischievous for our Southern Cameroon lawyer, as though they think they are not aware of the fact. So I call on all those lawyers that they shouldn't be part of La Republique and holding such a bar, because our bar system has a different criteria in which we deal with the law system. So we will not be holding our law system and including La Republique. Is based on Anglo-Saxon way of life and not the La Republique way of life. We cannot, in any circumstances, holding a bar, electing a bar members with the complicity of La Republique, because their cultural way of ruling is contrary to our broad-based system. And so an election is absolutely null and void. And so of the Bar Association that they show such a conference, and that the Francophones need to hold such a conference. And I want to take a moment and thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Make sure you share this message, share it to the highest level. I wish you all a wonderful day. This is Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. I wish you all the best.